Hello there, elementary fans. It's me, Loxaman. I am going to bring you a new review in the series for the first-party applications of elementary. And in this case, we're going to go with Switchboard, the settings app. Many of the functions are already present in Ubuntu and other GNOME flavored distributions, like for example Fedora. So I'm not going to go very deeply into it, but there are some nice things that you may want to know. For example, we can see the start the applications menu, and here you have the typical what do you want to open when a certain file is played. For example, for music files, you would like to switch to put music or something, the noise or something else. And there's a very nice startup menu here. It simply allows you to add the different apps that you have installed, so that they will fire up right away when you open your elementary stuff. For example, you could switch on Jiri so that when you open your computer, your mail is instantly retrieved and you can start working on it. Of course, if you are using something else, it doesn't just work with first-party apps. For example, you could also switch Kazam. Kazam is not a first-party app. I installed it in order to record a video. But this is a nice thing in that this is a nice menu. This is a nice setting, because usually the startup preferences for other systems are usually buried in the terminal, or you have to do things less transparent things. But in here, it's mostly click and do. I think you want to, for example, open your browser right away when you start your computer, and it can be done. In this case, I've already installed Chrome because as I told you, I'm not happy with Midori, and therefore, as it stands now, the next time I would open the computer, Chrome would fire up right away. And I also could remove it here. I'm going to do that because I don't like stuff auto running in my computer without me knowing. And that's it for the applications part. Anyway, let's go with the desktop. In this case, we do have the possibility to change wallpapers, but aside of that, you can also add your custom backgrounds. For example, if you have stuff in pictures, I'm not going to put my mug in the which is there in the webcam in the in the wallpaper catalog, and therefore we're just going to go to the other parts of the menu. Here we have the dock settings, which is here. You can change the icon size. For example, let's put the large icons, and there you have files, Google Chrome, and the like. And you can also change the behavior of the dock. For example, you can set it when to never hide, and then it would limit your stuff here. This is a setting that I particularly wouldn't use, and not so especially in a laptop which has a widescreen configuration, since vertical space comes as a premium. Here you can also change the setting when to hide. For example, you also could auto hide the screen, or when the focus window overlaps the dock. That's your preference. Anyways, I will leave it as it was, because so far it hasn't bothered me. And here you have the hot corners functionality. In this case, this is an application. This is a bit of functionality that allows you to execute certain actions when the pointer reaches one of the corners. Let's just try it here. We're going to activate the multitasking view when the lower left corner of the screen is reached by the pointer. And here you have it. This is a multitasking view. Here you could add so that every time that your pointer goes to the lower left corner, then it would it would show you the multitasking view. There are different things like maximizing, minimizing stuff, showing the applications menu. This could be nice, for example, for this, since you already have the applications menu here. What you could do is put it in the upper left corner, and it would show it. It would be shown right away without you having to click. Of course, this is just the behavior could be a bit erratic, so maybe you just would rather simply have it. But it's a possibility. There are also different things like window overview. Oh, this is not like the workspaces thing, but the windows inside one workspace. You can also have the show all window stuff, which is similar. On the execute custom command, you could have the hot corner execute Google. Let's see if it's correct. I'm going to execute Scratch when if it works. It would execute Scratch once you reach the upper right corner in this case, and it does. So, well, this is the extent of the functionality. So we're not going to keep it here. In fact, I would still rather leave the hot corners thing in peace, because it at times, particularly when you're playing games or doing things that require the full screen, having these settings may be a bit disruptive. Anyways, let's see, we do have the language and region settings here, pretty much like Ubuntu. You do have some notifications thing here, which with the apps, with the parts of the system that work with it. The network menu, the power menus, the Midori, for example, when you have downloaded something, it tells you in a system-wide notification, or at least in a sys-tray notification. And the terminal, this is a nice one, for example, when you're compiling something, or when you have executed a command, a big command like a huge upgrade, and then you can go do something else in your computer, and when it's over, it shows you a bubble that says, hey, the task that you had told me to do is finished. You can go to the terminal and do something else again. That's a nice one. And also, you have also here some security and privacy things. This is here as a privacy setting that it tells you this operating system can gather useful statistics about file and app usage in order to provide extra functionality. If other people can see or access your account, you may wish to limit which items are recorded. So you could, for example, limit the applications that you don't want to have stuff collected from. Let's say the camera, which would be a typical one. And of course, you can also remove it. For example, the camera thing would be the typical thing. The typical target. The webcam would be the typical target for such an application, for such a privacy lock, so to say. This is a part for the screen lock. That is when you have to the login prompt, when you have to type your password again in order to reactivate the computer. You can lock the screen when it's asleep, or after it turns off. So we also have a system firewall integrated that I'm not going to touch right now. I don't need it. We do have a color settings app. Here it won't allow me to calibrate these one, but there's some things that I can see here. The details, a couple of stuff like the display device, who manufactured it. This is a nice thing, I think, because it shows you some information about your screen just in case you need them. You also have metadata for the screen and the like. And so let's see what I have here. It's mainly installing a GNOME daemon, which works nice. But this could be nice for some design programs that use the screen metadata. However, in this case, I'm not the intended audience. So let's just go to the displays menu. The displays menu is simply a little application that allows you to detect the displays that are ready. In this case, we're just with my laptop. You can configure the resolution that you want, and if you want a rotation. Here is a bit of a problem because it appears to be blocking the all the settings button, the back to settings button, but it doesn't. Maybe they could move that screen somewhere else, that screen indicator somewhere else. There's also the possibility to change the keyboard settings, both for shortcuts, the behavior, the keyboard layout in the first place, and a lot of things, a lot of settings related to fairly obscure settings that may be useful for people who have, of course, side use cases. For example, Japanese keyboard options, adding Esperanto circumflexes. I am not sure how many people are writing Esperanto, even if you can, of course, put this system in Esperanto. Well, we have covered the keyboard case. We are going to just see a bit of the mouse and touchpad settings. You have here the possibility to test your settings. I have a little problem here in that I can scroll well. I can use the right button and the left button, but I don't have a middle button in any way. Of course, that's a problem when you are using the browser, because the middle button is a typical one you use for closing the windows and the like. Closing your tab, sorry. And I like that setting, so it's a bit of a pity that it's not there. We do have the power settings, which are basically the same as Ubuntu, printers, sound settings. Thankfully, it all works so far. You have the input, the output. As you can see here, my mic is activating the input level bar. You can switch some sound effects and see how the Kazam or the applications are working with the sound. Let's go back to the All Settings menu. There's also the possibility to manage your Wacom tablet preferences. If I did have a Wacom tablet, I would show it to you, but I don't. There's also the possibility to administrate your Bluetooth devices. It seems to be a bit buggy here. I don't know if it's my computer or the system. I'm betting on the system because it was working in the prior iteration of Freya, but of course it's to be expected in a beta software. You also have the network administrator here. You can add different things like VPNs or you can use this as a hotspot or connect to hidden network. Well, typical stuff. You also have the possibility to change the options of your connections, and well, I'm just giving a cursory glance to the thing. Here you have the possibility to install different online accounts. The rhythm of updates in this part of the system seems to be constant, as in every time that you put a sudo apt upgrade command, it seems that this part is being constantly worked on. So my guess is that they will be adding functionalities related to online accounts. And for the administration part, you have an about thing, an about part, date and time formula, the user accounts, and some universal access settings, like for seeing, hearing, typing, and people who use mice and touchpads here, or different ways of inputting information. For example, here it says that you can control the pointer using a video camera. Of course, it's not for me, but for people who need it, it could be a great idea. So, this is the Switchboard app review. Thanks for watching. I am a bit time constrained because I do have only 15 minutes of limiting YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be seeing each other again for another app review, which we'll be seeing what it would be. Thanks for watching again, and have a good day.